Hello, and welcome back to the Financial Literacy Film Festival on a Friday night. Got number love for you. Since all of you guys out can't be clubbing, you get the club in the house with Supermex on the Financial Literacy Film Festival. So we are in week 3 of the 4 successive evenings that you're going to spend with us talking about and discussing the Financial Literacy Film Festival put on by a lot of good people in our area, Central California and beyond from what I've been made aware of. And the opportunity to watch some original short films by people doing good work in the time of the coronavirus, which, obviously has changed everything. Don't see a whole lot of people going to movie theaters right now. So this ability to get original content out and discuss that original content with the people that have put out that original content is an excellent opportunity to learn about the underlying topic, which is financial literacy as a whole, as a specific topic, financial literacy, and the marriage of finance and film. There you go, those two things, finance and film, 2 separate and distinct industries, as a whole throughout the country and across the globe. But in this particular case, again, a marriage of finance and understanding finance, financial literacy, hence the wording, financial literacy, and film, the separate industry, together to teach, educate, and make more knowledgeable the average person watching the show tonight, unless you're one of the gazillionaires and you're probably not watching the show, but I think we've already addressed that. We've talked about it. Normal people watch this program. Normal people will watch this program going forward, and hopefully we educate them a little bit better through the short film format, and then again with the particular people, the individuals that are responsible for putting these projects together that come from all walks of life. Some of them are producers. They come from finance. They come from the financial world. You have editors, you have writers, you have actors. You have all the moving parts and the moving pieces that come together to put together and to produce an original short film. And I've got nothing but love for that, and that's why I quite literally got hornswoggled and agreed to help out here with this project, because it's a worthwhile pursuit to educate our populace, especially right now. I won't go too far, won't do it political, but I think it's very, very instructive and critical right now that we educate the common person, the regular American out there, on how to be fiscally sound and fiscally responsible with their dollar. Again, especially right now, because as these stimulus checks and these stimulus processes through the bills that were passed in Congress go out into the country, go out into the world, some people have lost jobs, some people are losing money, losing business. You got to be wise with how you spend those pennies. You got to be real careful, because you can be in a world of hurt if you're not making the right decisions. And again, I'm going to digress here a little bit, but I think everybody understands that. That's not something that was factored into our script, tonight. And we don't really do a script, but you get the point. A lot of people right now are going to need to know what to do that is best for them going forward with whatever money does come out of the Congress and the national. It's important, because again, people have lost jobs, small business owners are losing business, large businesses are losing business. So let me stop there, and I want you guys to kind of let that simmer and marinate in the back of your thought processes, because we do need to consider how we go forward right now in the time of the coronavirus with a depleted amount of money coming into the household. That's critical, okay? So again, week 3, we have one more week after tonight. Next Friday will be the finale and the conclusion of the Financial Literacy Film Festival. And, maybe we'll plan something a little bit extra. I won't tell the people that are responsible for putting this program together. Maybe I'll just decide to do something that adds to the mix, right? All good with intent. So next week is the finale and the conclusion of the Financial Literacy Film Festival. And I'll quite literally talk to the people that we need to talk to educate you viewers right now and for the rest of the evening and into next week as to what to expect going forward after the 4-part series Financial Literacy Film Festival is concluded. What does that mean? Well, I'm sure there are going to be more things, more projects, more attempts to educate you in terms of finance, and more attempts to engage you and make you a part of this family that we've got here. Mad Talk, George Ohan, Fulton Film Festival, Fulton Films, and all of the other pieces that have come together to put this product out for you at a time when others are not doing much. We go hard. And I'll say that on my end, Supermex International, our network, and my show, we're going aggressive right now. And I really do believe that's necessary. Don't sit back on your heels and wait for things to happen. Okay, so those are my opening remarks for you. Welcome back. Nothing but love for you if you're back again. And nothing but love for you if you're new. And I want you to stay because we're going to conclude next week. And these are all available in a variety of formats, these videos, going back to 2 weeks ago when we did the very first one and the second and now the third. You can go back and watch these again, or watch them for the first time if you haven't, and then watch them as a series, right? 1, 2, tonight is 3, next week is 4. Educate yourselves. If at the very least, get to see some short films, 2 every week we've done, 2 the first week, 2 last week, and we're going to do 2 more short films today. You get a movie experience without having to go and pay in the theater, right? That's a good thing, done for you. Okay, so those are the remarks, those are the comments to open, and we are going to break here and cut to begin our program for the evening with something near and dear to my heart, our national anthem. And I'll give a shout out real quick here. Check that out. See if you guys can see that. Yeah, if you know what that is, go ahead and comment in the section if you know what that stands for, what that means. Yeah, some of you guys should because some of you are vets. Anyway, so let's go ahead and cut and get to our performer that's going to do the national anthem for us. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you? Nice to see you again.
Glad to see you again. So I don't know, but I'm going to ask you. So are you going to be with us again next week?
Anything is possible. If the invitation is there, I'd be glad to do it.
I think I'm putting that out there, and the producers and the film directors. I'm putting that out there. I think I want to see you again next week.
Okay, well then deal. Then I shall.
Look, I just altered their schedule. They don't even realize it. But I think I want to hear your voice again. How about that?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It'd be my pleasure.
So before we get started here, and because we've never met in person other than last week when we had an opportunity to talk a little bit here, not a lot, mind you, because we were doing the national anthem. I want to thank you on my end. I'm sure plenty of people have already thanked you for lending your voice and your time, to the festival. But give me something before we go, because you're going to do the national anthem, or we're going to move on to something else. But give me something that you're doing right now to maintain sanity and activity in the age of the coronavirus.
Piano.
Oh, good woman.
These days, yeah,
that's dirty.
It's super cathartic and therapeutic, and I feel like my whole world revolves around music, and it's healing for me, and it's healing as we share as artists. So I try and stay kind of in that realm, just
right.
Keep my sanity and to keep giving and sharing, because we all need that right now.
Excellent. I'll give you a little sidebar. So, long time ago, I like to think or consider myself a wannabe vocalist, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I used to play when I was a kid, young. I did clarinet and sax when I was little.
Wow.
And then I ended up wanting to sing and singing more as I grew up. But you're going to like this. So I just ordered, and I'm going to teach myself how to play guitar. I've always wanted to. And because it was like this. It was going to be piano or guitar. Mm-hmm. Guitars are a lot cheaper.
Yeah. You can carry them around, so.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd like to consider myself musically minded, if not gifted. Yeah. But I'm absolutely with you 100% in music is a great grounder and a great unifier of people in times of difficulty.
Yeah. It's vibration, it's energy. So it's like it surges through your body, through your cords, and out to whoever you're sharing with, and just really just soaks into your being. So
you doing all that, you make me want to begin with my chest voice and get it up into the vocal up here.
Yeah. Well, now that I know you're a singer, I would love to hear you sing the national anthem.
Oh no, not today. No. You're much prettier and much more skilled than I am. So let's go ahead and break there, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to speak a little bit with you, and I look forward to when you and I get to spend some time together.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's hear the good lady sing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars the rule the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, lady. Music to my ears, literally. Nothing but love for you, and I absolutely look forward to when I get to see you in person.
Absolutely. Same here. Stay well to everybody, and we'll connect again soon.
All right, we've got a date. Thank you, Amy. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so Amy Faith on vocals. We have our own version of The Voice, right? I'm going to hit my little button. I'm going to spin around in my chair. Oh, I don't think, what happened to the production crew, man? Where's my spinning chair? I don't got that. You know we're in trouble. Hey, it is about budget, right? The budget for production crew and the spinning chairs and all the bells and whistles are all gone. You know how bad it is? Is the wardrobe budget got cut. I didn't even have money for a tie tonight. Can you believe that? You know I love to wear ties. I love ties. Wardrobe budget got slashed this week. I'm going to have to go out in the street and hustle. That's what's going to happen. Anyway, I digress. So let's go ahead and get right into the meat of our program. Again, thank you, Amy. Nothing but love for her. Beautiful voice, and I would definitely love to spend some time talking to her about music. Who doesn't want to do that, right? So let's go ahead and get to Mr. Carlos Ansures. He is the co-founder of the Financial Literacy Film Festival and a financial services professional.
This is commercial. Let's go with the commercial.
Oh, my bad. We're going to commercial first. All right, let's cut to commercial.
Is there any reason you called me in here today?
Am I off?
You know I respect the fuck out of you, right? But the problem is, we haven't seen Fran Solar in a long time.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Is it really you?
I mean, this is pure cinematic excellence.
The rise of the veteran athlete. So that's the elite. Sometimes a lot of veterans get out and they say, oh, what am I going to do? However, some people have taken a step further and say, I'm going to continue my service to country and represent my country. If you're an elite and you stand out amongst the 1% of the uncommonality people, I want to see it. If you're a power lifter, I want to hear it. If you're an Olympic skier, I want to hear about it. If you're a triathlon medalist, I want to hear it. What I like to see is the anomaly. And really what I like to interview is a female. I want it to be one of the biggest studies of veteran population athletes. And it's really, really important to, not to me, but to our veteran community to capture that journey of the behavioristic traits, the discipline, the fortitude, and the overall tenacity that these individuals put themselves through. That story needs to be captured and that story needs to be told. It's important to me because veterans are important to me. My brothers and sisters are very important to me. We fought along the same lines in battle, and I need to make sure that I'm continuing to pay this back to them. And this is the best way I know how. favorite part is when I get to see where people go mentally. I already know the dietary routine. I already know what they're eating. I already know their workout. You only can work out so many different ways, right? But I get to see where they go mentally. And I have a hypothesis on the study, and I don't want to spoil it, but I think I know what's driving these people, these veterans, these athletes to become, and it has to do with the mental space. And it's just a matter of going through the hard times, putting through that pressure, that you can have these attributes developed, and we all have it. It's just a matter of actually getting after it. And some people hone that skill set, and that becomes very fruitful for them. So I'm just here to ensure that your story is told and made in history for the world to see.
Oh, I think I may be interested in participating in that, watching that commercial. All right, Carlos, before I get to you, I'm going to have to plug this out here for people to see. That was not intentional, what I had on tonight. That video, I had no idea that was the commercial. So
Okay.
for those of you guys that are vets, you know what I'm talking about. Nothing but love for you. Okay, apologies there, Carlos. So, Mr. Carlos Censures, so the co-founder of Financial Literacy Film Festival and Financial Services Professional. Other than the easy stuff, let me do the dirty stuff. So how did George Ohan squirrel you into this mess?
Oh, I actually met George through my wife, Yvonne. They went to elementary together.
Oh, wow.
And I guess they had a 20th year reunion. And that's when I met George for the first time. And we just hit it off. And he happened to be in film. I happened to be in finance. And I would say it was about a 12-month. It didn't happen right away. It was about a 12-month conversation of him going back and forth and basically telling me about, what if we can get film and finance together and call it education and entertainment together, which is a genre that's starting to take off now because it brings a different approach. So it took him about 12 months. When he first told me about the idea, I was blown away. But to answer your question, Richard, I met him through my wife. But he was talking to me for about it. He was talking to me for about a year before we actually decided to make the decision to go ahead and move forward with this whole thing. But when he told me about it, I was just blown away. I was just like, man, is this even possible? But him coming from a film background, being very creative, me coming from the finance background, also being very creative, also thinking outside the box, we decided to bring film and finance together. And I believe it was an awesome approach because for your traditional approach, finance is a very serious conversation that most people don't want to have. They eventually have it when it's too late.
Right.
So when George brought the idea to have a different approach through edutainment, which is education and entertainment together, I was sold out to it. And that's how this whole project started to begin with.
So I'll add to that for you. So let me ask you this real quick before I get to that other. So is George also a matchmaker?
No, actually, no. He's
No, I'm
not.
just messing with you. Hey, it's
He
like
probably
what?
is. No, he probably has an app somewhere.
That's what I'm
pretty sure
saying.
he is.
But what doesn't
Yeah.
he do, right? He's involved in a lot.
Right, that guy does a lot. Yeah.
But I'll go with your edutainment comment because I've heard that over a long period of time, long span. Because I'll say it on my end, I'm an old history teacher, and I got to tell you, teaching kids or young people or anybody in general about history is difficult. Kind of like finance, right? I mean, it's necessary, it's important, and if you're not knowledgeable or you don't understand those things, then you do suffer or pay a price for it. Quite literally in the financial world, actually. If you don't understand finance and financial literacy, you'll be making decisions that cost you money and that make your life more difficult over time. So you have to have the ability to grasp an audience. You have to have the ability to pull an audience in, to get them to listen. Because if you can break through that initial wall of gathering their attention and gathering their interest, then you can educate them and make their life better, make them more knowledgeable. And so I'm entirely with that concept. I do wish that you know, in my world, the perfect world, right? I'm not from finance, but in a perfect world, I wish every American, everybody was more knowledgeable about our history. And I do believe we wouldn't make as many mistakes as we do now. And that's definitely the same as financial literacy. I see that all the time. It's just not being knowledgeable and educated that leads down a road that will cost you, quite literally in the pocketbook, you know, down the road. So follow up on that a little bit. So from your aspect, you're from the financial world. George is from film. We've got a logical buddy marriage going on there, make it a bromance. And, you know, describe a little bit more on the importance of going forward, how not just you and George do that, but everybody involved with this project over four weeks, how we go forward, how we grow forward in educating people, edutainment, educating people on the marriage of finance and film.
Right, we're just being the trailblazers on this. It's going to be a trend. I really believe it's going to bring more film and finance groups together. It's just we're the ones that started it off. We decided to spearhead it for a greater cause. You know, I always say film and finance, two different industries coming together for one cause. And I believe that this is the beginning of we're starting it off. We're trailblazing this whole thing, and people are going to start following what we're doing. And the message needs to be out there. Richard, I remember we talked via telephone a couple of weeks back before we launched this whole festival. And
correct.
You heard a little bit of my history, where I come from. And I came as an immigrant, raised by a single mom. I didn't have a father, no brothers and sisters, and nobody sat down with my mom. And I seen what it is, what the impact that it does to families, because I was one of those families. And so this is a very important message. And the fact that you can bring education and entertainment together, like you mentioned earlier, what are people doing right now? What better than get value through a different approach?
Correct.
But once again, if you can convey a message, a very important message, and make it fun, make it entertaining, that's the way to go. That's the future of I believe that's the future of everything going forward. If you can bring value and entertain people, that's the way to do it.
Correct. I mean, that's 100%. And so I do believe that the format you guys created, you know, these four evenings, and, you know, couching the educative side, the education of learning in a manner that forces people to engage by, you know, in these particular cases, you have 2 separate films on each of these evenings, and those films are conveying a message with actors and producers and directors, and they're cutting through the fog to get to that person, whoever's watching, our person right now, that our audience, and they're watching this and like, oh, that was kind of cool. Oh man, that was, I get that message because I've lived it, or because I understand it, and maybe because I've been in a similar situation, and now I can turn around, maybe listen and learn something, and now I can better myself. You know, that's kind of what I see the real value to what you guys have done in the short film, you know, process, and the manner in which you're getting the message out. It's going to reach a lot of people. If for no other reason, I'll just do something like that to keep them engaged, right? Wake up. Hey, he's got to do that too. So one quick question. So, I mean, what kind of initially enticed you, or other than George and, you know, knowing mutual, you know, friends, your wife in particular, but other than that, what kind of moved you on the concept in terms of the script and the idea of what he had planned and what you guys could get out?
Well, when I first heard about it, I was blown away. I didn't think it was possible, because it's unheard of. You never see a film, Hollywood, come together with the financial industry. You don't hear that, and there's nothing out there like it. So when George told me about it, first I was just blown away. I didn't think it was possible, but when George and I kept talking, there were several talks through a process, and we started really seeing how we can connect film and finance, and we came with this conclusion that, hey man, edutainment's where it's at. Mm-hmm. And when we came together, for me, I was real hesitant to even move forward, because I had no idea about film, directors, executive producers. I had no idea about that. I'm a finance guy, I'm an investor, I'm an entrepreneur in different industries, nothing to do with Hollywood or film. And so I was just like, I don't know anything about this. How am I going to come in and how can I bring value to this outside of my knowledge and my expertise with finance? And George, and when I started getting into it and we decided to move forward, I just saw a whole different side of production and film, and like, this is a legitimate business.
Right.
They're business people, they're professionals.
Right.
They actually work really hard. They try to master their craft. They're constantly getting better. They're being creative, resourceful. And so I just saw a whole different respect for the film industry. And you know, we come in and we watch a movie, we eat popcorn, we get our kids, we get our wife, whatever. We have movie night, date night, but we don't even know what happens behind the scenes. So they can bring this entertainment for us to be able to enjoy our lives, because we work. Most of us have a job and work with our careers, and we're just doing what we have to do to feed our families. And then when we have a day off, when we have a little bit of time, we want to enjoy ourselves. What better than to enjoy a film? And what I didn't know was how much work goes behind this whole project and films, and it's just amazing. I just have a utmost respect for the film industry because I saw another side of it. And so when I started going on set, I went on set on one of the movies, which is called What If, which is coming on next week. I was there all day. These guys were working hard. I mean, they were there from early in the morning. They were all the way to like real late at night. And they were putting 12, 14, 16-hour shifts. They're moving from set to set. It's a lot of work that goes behind it. I have the utmost respect. And when I seen some of the work that George did, the credibility that he had, not only with my wife, but the credibility he had in the film industry, and the people respect him, and the ways he was spearheading everything, man, that's the kind of individual, and that's the kind of project I want to get behind. So not only that I co-found this whole project with them, but I also decided to be an executive producer on one of the films, because I really see what type of work goes behind this, and I wanted to be part of it.
Right. So I've got you down as like an executive producer for the film we're about to watch right now, Birthday Party. Give us a little bit. So executive producer on that.
I decided to be an executive producer on that script. Yes.
And so you've already seen this. I haven't seen it, by the way. Have you seen this one?
I saw it. It's mind blowing.
You're like, I want to be a part of that, huh?
Yeah, and just to let you guys know that the title of it is called Birthday Party, and when you hear Birthday Party, and I'm going to give you a little bit of it, so I want you guys to understand it. When you hear Birthday Party, it's like a happy thought, right? Birthday party, but there's a very, very serious message behind it. There's a Marine that was involved. There's a mom, there's a daughter, there's an aunt, and basically, I want you to pay attention to it, because it's like a twist. It's not what you think it is. So pay attention, and I want to just give you a little bit heads up.
Don't give us too much. You're gonna spoil it.
Hey, I want to let you guys know. There's a Marine involved. There's the survivor of the Marine. There's the mom and the daughter, and it's a very powerful, very serious message, because it's your classic case of somebody being left behind and leaving. Maybe one family leaves. It's two stories going on at the same time. I'll give you that. One story is a family that's being left behind, devastated. And there's another family that somebody was left behind, but actually did something financially for their family, and you can see the difference in the story. I'll leave you guys with that. But it's a very serious message. It's like a 5-6 minute short film, but there's a very, very serious message. The title's obviously it's a happy thought, Birthday Party. But when I seen the script on that, I wanted to get behind something like that, because I see that constantly in people's homes and people's families, and I've seen that before, and I see how it not only affects the family, but how it affects the generations to come. Right. You know, when something like that happens, it just doesn't devastate the family there; it devastates generations to come.
Correct.
So our message is very serious, and what better than bring education, entertainment together to make it fun.
Got it.
To make it entertaining.
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and thank you for being the EP on this. The film is about to start here. Play the movie, Birthday Party.
Richard. Go ahead. All right. We're good. If I'm still on, I want to give a shout out real quick. Can I give a shout out real quick?
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to Safety for Sarah, which is an awesome organization. Obviously, I'm proud and honored to be collaborating with an organization like that puts safety first. I also want to give it out to KP from KP Studios, all the cast, all the directors, and of course George, which I'm pretty sure they put me on camera today, so I'm pretty sure George is going to be the finale next week. You better, because we've been talking about George this whole time, so everybody's thinking, who's this George guy? So we're going to put him on next week for sure. So you guys are going to see who this George guy is. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the cast and everybody that just basically worked very hard behind this project. And also to you, Richard, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you doing an awesome job. Thank you.
Too kind. I don't do compliments, but nothing but love for you, homeboy. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
All right, KP, we good?
We're doing a commercial. We're right back. There we go. We're gonna put a commercial real quick, you guys.
Cut to a commercial. We'll be right back and then get to this film.
Has changed overnight, but Buick and GMC's commitment to you remains the same. We understand you want to feel safe, so we're offering current owners OnStar Crisis Assist services. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% financing for up to 84 months with deferred payment options for 120 days. Plus, you may have the option to shop online and take delivery at home. Visit our websites for the help you need. Buick and GMC, we're here to help.
Mommy, it's my birthday party. Why can't my daddy be here? He always likes my favorite cake.
Thea said that she's gonna get you any cake you want.
It's not the same.
Remember who took you to Disneyland with your favorite cousins, huh?
Yeah.
Okay then.
But I still miss talking to him.
I know.
Hello?
Hey.
Oh, hey, Myra.
Do you still have that connection with Cakes Like a Boss? Could you do me a huge favor? Angela's turning 10 and she's been raving about this special cake. Like princess-like with silver sparkle all over it and purple swirls on top, and when you cut it open, all these jelly beans fall out and it sounds really pricey.
Oh my god, Myra, really? Do you even have to ask? Of course. Marco's always talked about her big 1-0.
It's been hard.
It's really sad he won't be here for this one too.
She never stops talking about him.
Myra, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna go pick it up and drop it off today, okay?
Oh my god, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you, Thea.
I love you.
Hello?
An inmate from California State Penitentiary Wasco is attempting to call you. Press 1 if you accept the charges.
It's Marcos.
I know. Her birthday was yesterday.
Let me talk to my daughter. Put her on the phone right now. I was busy yesterday.
An inmate from California State Penitentiary Wasco is attempting to call you. Press 1 if you accept the charges.
It's Marcos.
I know. Her birthday was yesterday.
Let me talk to my daughter. Put her on the phone right now. I was busy yesterday.
An inmate from California State Penitentiary Wasco is attempting to call you. Press 1 if you accept the charges.
It's Marcos.
I know. Her birthday was yesterday.
Let me talk to my daughter.
An
federal film right here.
Mommy, I missed you. I wish you said my birthday yesterday.
He was me, huh? Who do you think bought you your birthday cake?
Welcome back. So that was Birthday Party. And obviously, again, the underlying message, here to educate you on financial literacy. All right, so a good short. We just had on Carlos, who was an executive producer on that film. And we have the pleasure of having some of the people that also worked on this project coming up. I believe we have Terry. See if we can pull her up. Terry, I'm sorry. Terry, say your last name for me. Can you hear me?
How's it going? My last name is Lelea.
Lelea? Are you
There you go. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah? Which island, though?
Samoa.
Okay. I got to ask because I had some partners that were Samoan and from Tonga. And, oh, boy, you know, you don't mix. I'll let you know real
That's
quick.
how it used to be. I'm a younger generation, so I heard about the story, but I didn't really live through that time.
Yeah.
But I've always heard about the things that happened in the past. But I'm always for bringing our cultures together because we're not that different. We're actually pretty similar.
You know, listen, I love that. That's perfect, and it's usually younger generations, right? Well, you guys, I don't know that, so I'm cool with just getting with other people. But I've had, I'm probably a little older than you, but I've had partners that were, you know, my age and beyond, and you know, you had to be careful when you asked them, you know, are you Tongan, you Samoan? I mean, Fiji. You got other islands, and people are real specific about. So, but you're right, and I do like that because I've got younger bloods like yourself that they don't see all that. They just island culture. You know what I mean? It's all good one way or the other. So I really dig on what you got working on here. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, the message you took out of, you know, your spot there on the film.
Well, for this film, this is actually probably the fourth film that I was a part of during this whole film festival. So I had a little experience before I was a part of this film that helped me. I really like the message that it sends through financial literacy, which is the message behind this whole festival itself.
Right.
So, like, you know, when you lose a family member or you lose pretty much the breadwinner, the person that comes into the family that, you know, he provides for it, how are you going to supplement that income and how are you going to be able to, you know, keep that lifestyle for your family? So, you know,
dig on that. You're a good actor. You know why? Because you were believable as a Wasco resident.
That's funny, man. I don't know too much about the family, but that was a good role that I was in. Honestly, that was the second one that I acted in that actually had a role in it. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect to actually relate to the character that I was playing.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever been in prison or anything, but I have family members who've probably been in that situation, you know, and I've seen it from the outside looking in. And the other one I was a part of, you know, it had to do with substance abuse, and you know, I have also people that have to deal with that as well.
Right.
So just seeing how you can help people, you know, be aware of these situations so they can better themselves and better the people around them. You know, I was all big on that, so I was all in on this project. I loved everything about it.
I liked it. I mean, I think because you could probably look like a lot of different parts. You could look like a carnal for me somewhere too.
Carnal, I like that. Yes, sir.
I got a lot of partners, you know, all kinds of different shapes, sizes, and colors. But you know, we're homeboys, and we're a little darker in color or brown, and we have the ability to look a lot of different things. So, like one of the guys that I was talking about a little earlier, you know, an Islander from a long time ago. He married one of my best friend's sister, and you know, she's Mexican, and so his kids can look either. They can look Islander or Mexican. You know, it's a good mix. So, I mean, I naturally gravitate toward my partners, you know, from the islands. I got nothing but love for them because they've had to work their ass off to get to where they are. So, like I said, I really liked your little piece there, and even though it's a small piece, I think you need to be getting bigger pieces.
Hey, man, I agree with you, which is why I'm doing it.
Why wouldn't you, right?
Exactly. Hey, man, I'm very capable, so why not put myself in that position? I'm 100% comfortable with it. So, I wanted to touch on what you said about, you know, being culturally diverse. I grew up in the Bay Area, so there's a lot of people like me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I wasn't really a minority where I grew up from, because everywhere you look, you see people like me. So coming to the Valley, I'm from the Bay Area, so when I moved to the Valley, I realized there's not that many of me. So if I can, you know, let people know about who I am, people that are like me, like we exist.
Right.
You know, we're not just on TV.
Right.
I'm here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you mentioned that, you know, so you're in this one, Birthday Party, and that you've done a few others, you know, in this film festival. What are the other, and we're not giving away too much here, but what are the other projects you work on that will be part of the film festival?
Trouble, If Only, and Cash Plus. If Only and Cash Plus, I believe, are being aired next week. Trouble was week 1.
Oh, okay.
And today, yeah. And then today's project, this one was one I was really proud of because, like, it's a lot going on behind the scenes that you
No, hold on. I think you like this because you're looking all hard, like, put my daughter.
Oh, yeah, that one too. That's good. That was a little bonus. That was a little sprinkle on top.
Put my daughter on the phone.
Yep.
I'm just messing with you. So you have more coming next week. Also, you know, in the same vein of, you know, the underlying message that we're trying to get out here, which is about educating yourself and educating people through this medium, film and movies, short movies, on getting people to understand the importance of knowing finance and financial literacy, education, and educating themselves on you know, how to spend your money, how to save your money, how not to go broke too early because you're wasting spending where you shouldn't be. So
exactly.
So let me ask you, because I'm going to throw some shade at some of these mugs. So who's the one that hooked you to do the projects?
George. Hey, man, that dude George, that's a big inspiration right now. I met him not too long ago, but he's been very active in my life. But when he gives me the call, I show it. Oh yeah. It reminds me of a lot of people in my family. You know, like you said earlier, we don't sit back on our heels and wait for it to happen. We make it happen. When I met George, that's all he was about.
Yep.
I don't know what he told me when I first met him, but I know it was a motivational story. And I was like, yo, what? I love it. Let's go.
A motivational story. What? I get you entirely. Hey, I'll say it on record. He suckered me, and that was like a good thing. And so you don't know this, but I'm an old vet. I'm old infantry myself. And to this day, I have never refused a veteran any type of help or ask, ever. You know, provided somebody's not doing any evil, right? But I've never said no to a veteran if they're asking in good faith for a good cause. And so what he told me was, like, underlying all of this is a message to try to educate people on financial literacy and how they should, you know, manage their money and their, you know, their life through finance. Because the truth is, you know, I've made comments on other shows that I do, not the Financial Literacy Film Festival, but I've been saying this over and over for about a year. KP is my witness. The rich get richer and the poor continue to get poorer. While we sit and argue about who's right or wrong as a Democrat or Republican, which politician is doing this, which politician is that, I'm not looking through any of that right now. I see it real simple. What's the end result? I don't want to hear about all this noise in between. I cut right through all that and I look at the back end. Poor people are getting poorer, the middle class is shrinking, and the rich are getting richer. So it's all the more important that young folk like yourself, I don't know how young you are, but young enough to learn and educate yourself. But young folk, this generation coming, millennials and older into the, my time, need to educate themselves on what's going on. And it doesn't mean just like, hey, I got a budget. Hey, I got to stick to it. This is how much I make. They also need to know about what's going on at the national level and how money's being spent and where it's going, where your tax dollars are being spent. I'll insert myself here, if not too much. That's also financial literacy, is knowing how your government is spending your money. That's financial literacy. What say you?
Exactly. And you're exactly right. Me, I'm only 26 years old. So I'm just getting started on learning about all of this financial literacy information. And if I would have learned at a younger age, I would have taken advantage of it, which is the whole premise of this whole festival, education and entertainment. Being able to show people, informing them on real life situations.
Correct.
So, if they can relate to it, they'll be able to, learn through this situation. Because a lot of people don't know, especially at my age, we don't know how to use money all the time. We don't know how to invest our money all the time. And the only way we get that information is through somebody that knows. And how are we going to do that? This is one of the ways, education and entertainment. So that's why we bring this to the people. It brings a movie experience without having to go to the theater, and also you're learning. So
that's it. So I mean, that wasn't something that I had. I don't do a whole lot of scripting. I like my conversations organic and real. So there are things that we've got to talk about because of the structure of the film festival, right? It's four nights, 4 Friday nights. You get to hang out with me because I'm a cheap date. But
I was watching your show earlier.
What's that?
I was watching your show earlier, Cheap Date.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yes, sir.
You watched Cheap Date Night?
I'm tapped in.
Oh. Yeah, you're making me feel good. You make me feel good. But I tell people all the time.
Hey, man, it's contagious. I've been feeling good.
Yeah, exactly. So what better to do on a Friday night than not spend money and learn a little bit about music and some movies, right?
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
And so in a roundabout way, without going too far out of the bounds, everything that I do is education because I'm a former educator. I'm a former history teacher. So everything I do is filtered, even this, through how we teach people and how we get those people to learn. And like I said earlier about the end result, I don't need to know about all this mess. I need to know that somebody learns something when they walk away, that you remember something, and that you internalize that and you can use that going forward. Because otherwise, if all we're doing is talking and you're not learning something, then what the hell are we here for?
Yep, George made that very clear when I first met him. Teach, coach, mentor. He made that very clear when I first met him. That was one of his main lessons when he first spoke to me. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to coach you, I'm going to mentor you. But you got to learn and you got to apply it. You have to.
So I'll tell you what George is doing, because I'm a little older than George, but he's using the 22-100. That's our military leadership. It's called the Field Manual, FM 22-100, and that's kind of like my Bible. I literally quote and have learned from that. He's using a lot of the principles, and I'm not complaining because that's good. I wish more people would use those things because we'd all be a lot more knowledgeable. So that's a good metric to which to go on. So. KP, were we able to pull anybody else on? Only him, bro. Because we'd all be a lot more knowledgeable. So that's a good metric to which to go on. So, KP, were we able to pull anybody else on? Only him, bro. Okay. All right. So we got a little bit here before we cut out, Terry. I want to thank you for sure for watching my show, man. That's dirty. That's dirty. Making me feel good on a Friday night, man. But
hey, man, it was great. I'm learning.
Let me ask you this.
I'm off learning when I'm watching.
Yeah, I'll digress a little bit, but since I got you on air tonight and you're the actor and we're supposed to be talking to you, so I gave 3 females tonight. I gave 3 females that I feel that are like right now the biggest in music. Halsey, Dua Lipa, and Camila Cabello. Can you think of 3 that are bigger than those 3?
Yep. And I'm not going to lie, I heard your Dua Lipa reference on week 1. You were like, we made a full 180, like Dua Lipa.
Somebody was paying attention. You were paying attention.
I was in.
I like this kid. KP, put it on the record. I like this young blood right here. Because he listened to me.
I was like, the only reason why I got that is because my kids, that TikTok. I was like, I know that song.
Oh, wow, really?
Referencing right now.
Holy smokes. That's how you got it?
Yeah, yep.
Wow. Yep. So, hey, listen, it's you learn, right? Look, I'm an old dog.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost half a century. But I'm still learning too. I'll educate you a little bit. I'm an old history teacher. Ancora imparo. That's a quote from Michelangelo when he was at his height. Great genius, great sculptor, great painter, great artist, everything, right? But he stated when he was asked about his road and all the things that he's done, he looked at the guy and said, Ancora imparo. And they're like, huh? Still, I am learning. And what that points out is that no one is ever that great. You're always still learning.
Ancora impara.
Hey, that's it. Right? That's it. So I'm still learning. Clearly, you're still learning. I got nothing but love for that. And you caught my reference.
Yep.
That was good. That's good. Hey, look, nobody performs.
I caught it because I was like, how does he know that song?
Hey, no one performs, no one gets on a mic or on a camera without the intent for somebody to hear something and catch something. So you caught it. So she's my girl right now. I've told people, like, we're digressing a little bit, but we're having fun too on a Friday night. Dua Lipa is like, she can do no wrong right now. I mean, her stuff, I can tell you right now, 30 years ago in the club, that stuff's rocking. All right. What she's doing right now, you go anywhere, you're going to hear her music somewhere. Exactly. Anyway, I'm going a little far, but I love what she's doing. I have to answer
your question.
Go ahead.
Beyonce, Alicia Keys, and Rihanna.
Okay. I would say for the last decade, but what I did for the three tonight was for what's coming in this decade. And here's why. Here's why. I'm being dirty. They're younger and they're upcoming. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But if you want, and we'll pause here because I'll be on with you all night. I'm having fun with you.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. We have our own talk. Hey, full time. Hey, didn't I say you need more time on air? On air?
Yep.
You need more screen time, homeboy. So for the last decade, I gave Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna for the last decade. And that's on another show, different thing that I do for entertainment. But so I'm picking those three. Check those chicks out. I mean, they're hot right now. They can do no wrong. Going forward, they're three of the biggest artists, females, that I think are going to just blow this decade up going in. But listen, I got nothing but love for you, young blood, because you caught my reference. That was good. That was dirty good. Okay, we're going to have to cut or else I'll be here with you all night. Got nothing but love for you. Maybe we'll catch you next week before this thing's done. And even if we don't, you and I are going to have to spend some time together. I want to talk to you more.
Let's make it happen.
Hey, I'm going to make it happen. I'll make sure you get more screen time.
All right. Hey, I love it, man. That's what I love to hear. I appreciate that.
All right, young blood. Nothing but love for you. Okay, let's go ahead and cut out. And we're going to get to the next movie.
Me llamo David Fuentes, vengo del Salvador, o soy del Salvador. Tengo 7 hermanas y tengo un hermano. Éramos 9 en la casa con mi papá y mi mamá. Familia es tener unidad con mis hermanas y mis hermanos, compartir todo lo que teníamos. No era mucho, pero compartir todo lo que teníamos, tener amor. Los llevábamos bien con lo poquito que teníamos. Tenía muchas hermanas que eran más mayores que yo. Ellas me cuidaban mucho cuando mi papá y mi mamá estaban trabajando. La relación con mi hermano era muy, muy especial porque era mi único hermano. Crecimos juntos, siempre andábamos juntos haciendo travesuras o lo que sea cuando éramos chiquitos en El Salvador. Era difícil porque no teníamos mucha oportunidad. porque no éramos familia de mucho dinero, éramos pobres y era muy peligroso ser niño o cualquier persona en El Salvador porque los guerrilleros y los del ejército siempre andaban buscando gente y niños que se podían agarrar para meterse a la guerra. Yo me acuerdo que agarraban niños de 10, 12 años y se metían a la guerra y les daban pistolas y rifles para pelear y era muy peligroso. Una vez se metieron a la casa de mi mamá y ellos pensaban que teníamos guerrilleros y estaban buscando los guerrilleros y al último los peleamos con el ejército y ese fue el día que los tuvimos que mover de nuestro pueblo y venirnos para los Estados Unidos. Tenía 8 años cuando me vine de El Salvador, 8 o 9 años. Cuando llegué a los Estados Unidos fue un poco difícil porque no entendía el lenguaje, puro español, y los niños me hacían chistes, se reían de mí y también éramos pobres, no tenía mucha ropa. Mi mamá siempre me decía, hey, ¿quieres ropa y quieres algo? Le decía, sí, quiero ropa para la escuela. Me decía, mañana vamos a levantarlos a las 5 de la mañana, nos vamos a ir a piscar higos. Trabajaba en los files, era muy difícil. Yo me acuerdo cuando iba a trabajar, los levantamos tempranito, los íbamos a trabajar y el higo que piscábamos no es de los árboles, piscábamos el higo que ya estaba en el suelo. Estaba un poco seco el suelo, los higos, y el trabajo era en rodillas y yo me acuerdo que por veces hasta las rodillas salíamos sangrados. Cuando empecé a manejar troques tenía 18 años y el primer año era muy difícil porque no estaba acostumbrado a no dormir, a no estar despierto tantas horas. Trabajaba de 13 horas en ese tiempo, era todos los días, lo hice por 16 años, era muy difícil el trabajo. Mi hijo, él empezó a boxear, empezó a meterse a deporte y yo siempre quería ser un padre que siempre estaría ahí con su hijo o los hijos, y decidí de salirme de manejar troques y meterme a ser manejador porque me iba a dar más oportunidad de estar con mi hijo, ayudarle, darle todo lo que necesitaba para hacer el deporte que él quería hacer, y hacerme manejador, salirme de la troqueada, eso es lo que me dio la oportunidad y por eso me salí de la troqueada y me metí a ser manejador. Man, my relationship with my brother was a beautiful thing, man. We hung out a lot. When they told him like, hey, you got less than 6 months to live, it was pretty shocking to actually hear that, hear the news that he had cancer and he couldn't believe it, and the way cancer kind of took him out, you know, it's pretty rough. Yeah, it was sad, man. My mom probably took it the hardest because you know it was her son and she loved him. So now to this day, you're talking about a bunch of years gone by. My mom's 77. She still hurts, cries for him. Made me feel sad, you know, and because my mom, there's a piece of her that she lost, and you can't just put it back with words or any actions that you can do. It just, you know, a struggle for her, and man, it's rough. I think what was even rougher was that he had a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old kid, a daughter and a son. My brother, before he passed away, he made me promise that I was going to take care of his son and his daughter, and I took care of my nephew. My mom took care of my niece, and he lived with me, and he actually boxed with my son too. I always consider him my second son, you know, because I have my son and then him, and it worked out. It balanced out pretty good. And I was driving truck. I've been with the company for close to 12 years, and I called my manager and I told him, hey, I can't drive in the truck anymore. I felt like I wanted to jump off my truck and get hit by another car. It was crazy. And that's the last day I actually drove truck. I didn't know anything about financial services. I was 40 years old when I first got introduced to this industry. And I saw the value in what they were bringing, and I think that's what really attracted me. And after 19 months, I decided to kind of leave my career behind and start this new career. The first thing was insecurity and being out late, not having results were pretty challenging at the beginning. But I think if you have faith and you actually just put work behind it, I think it always works out the way it's supposed to work out. And the way I look at it is like, I am going back in time and possibly helping somebody in the same position I was with my brother when he passed away with no insurance. I love that. coming from El Salvador, running away from the war, being poor, I think that's what motivates me. Not going. I don't want to go back to that. So I don't know. I'm just a little different than a lot of people. I think I just have a drive inside of me that my parents instilled, but I have to get things done. You know, I gotta perform a little bit more than what they did. You know, you always want to outseed your parents, and that's what I tell my son too. Like, you want to do more than me, son. Don't do what I did. Do more than me and make it better. I think right now I'm on a mission to help all the families that I can, and build an agency as big as I can. And I think my goal is to actually find some leaders out there that have the same goal, same vision that I have, is to go out, help a bunch of families and educate them. So yeah, I think that's the next goal for me in the future. You know, just chase after that.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think those questions were phenomenal questions. I just want to say, if people out there watching this movie, man, if you have a dream, some goals like you did when you were younger, go after them. Don't let nothing stop you. I think that's what I would comment and say.
Oh, excuse me. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes on the film because I was like, this guy's legit.
I just want to say,
trying to get some information and educate myself there, right? I was taking some notes, believe it or not. See this good little pen here?
Like you did when you were younger.
Black and gold, United States Army, baby. So taking a little bit of notes. The documentary was on Mr. David Fuentes, and, you know, powerful message of being aggressive and trying to accomplish it, you know, and not falling prey to succumbing to normality and to not engaging and not being active and aggressive at trying to better yourself and better your position, and, you know, really resonates the message of children trying to realize the dreams that parents sacrifice for, you know, in this country in particular, United States, the American dream. And there are a lot of parents that have come to this country with the sole intent to give their children and theirs after the opportunity to be successful in whatever capacity it is they so choose. But you quite literally get that in this country. Not too much to discuss, you know, it's current, but it's still that country. We are still that country. So a really good message there, really resonated for me too. I understand that message entirely. I've lived that life, and I'm there with the homie. So let's see what we got here. We got some guests worked on this project. Okay, so I've got David.
Hey, how's it going?
David Fuentes, and I've got Juan Carlos Sanchez.
We're here. Yes,
there you go. So before I begin, Mr. Fuentes, was it me or did I see your son in an Air Force uniform?
He's in the Air Force. Absolutely. Yeah, you did see that.
Still in?
Yes, he's serving 6 years. He's on his second year right now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's newer.
He's watching this right now. He's watching it.
Number love for you, young blood. So just before we go too far, so I'm a long line myself. We're all Army infantry. I had a brother that was Air Force. I've got cousins in Marine Corps, Navy, etc. So we've got a long line of people that serve. So that stuff sticks out to me immediately, and I got to make sure we bring that up. I don't like doing so we did this last week, or at least on a different show. I said, I don't thank people for their service. I congratulate them on taking their oath. It's a little different, awesome. But yeah, most veterans and most service people don't need a thank you. They just need to know that you respect what they did. So, number love for your son if he's watching. Thank you very much for putting your time in, kid, and congratulate you on your service. Okay, so let's get down to some particulars. So I've got here Juan. You go by Juan Carlos? Does it matter?
Yeah, I go by Juan Carlos.
Okay. And so you're the director editor on this documentary.
Yes.
All right. So how was the overall gelling and working with David here and the other people involved with the project?
It was great working with David. I mean, his story made it easier to. He had a great story, so it was really easy to work with. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, when we first shot this, when I went home and I looked at the footage, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like gave up on it a bit, and then I decided to watch it again. And then this time when I watched it, I wanted to listen to what he had to say, and what he had to say motivated me to continue to find something and to get something like a finished product. And that's what I try to portray with this message. To hope I hope with this video people get motivated to just hustle and get after their goals and just never give up. And that's what I like about this and his story.
Right. So you got to a point there where you're like at a sticking point. Then you said to yourself, I got to find a way to get this message out, and I'm responsible for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and it is. It's. I was sitting there watching like. So David, I'll just tell you, not exactly the same. I'm not from El Salvador. I'm from here, but I've had to motivate myself through some difficulty from when I was a little guy, raised in a single parent home, one mom, and we had to work. We had to make things happen where there was nothing, and never use an excuse to make it possible to not be successful and to not want to do more. And I'm going to say it, it really it resonates with me, the message you were saying. It's like, I tell my kids this too, by the way. It's important for this generation to look at the work that our parents did in getting us here or getting us to a position so that we can be successful, because they give their lives and they move, they leave countries, they sacrifice for us just to have a shot. And so my rationale, and weigh in here right now, but my rationale is, if somebody like me or you don't do anything with our lives, that's disrespectful to my parents. ¿Me entiendes? That's kind of,
yes, I understand.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about it, because that's what I'm hearing when you were talking.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because you have a lot of people that are from the United States. They were born here. They have all the opportunities in the world.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny to me because, coming from a third world country, being poor, not having anything growing up, I mean, the opportunities are there for anybody that wants to go after them. And I think that's one of the things that I kind of, that's the part me and George actually talked about the movie, and we said, I think it'll inspire some people to go out there and chase their dreams,
Right. I think and do this in a real nice, instructive way, not with any, with any negative attached, but, it's messages like that are important to get across and out, because it's going to help not just others, say like you or me or other people that have to work to get something and haven't been handed anything. It's important for all those other people to realize the benefits and the beauty of living in this country and all the things that were done for them. That's instructive, and it's important that we get that message across, because some people are out there kicking ass and working hard, while others are just taking things for granted, like it's not that big a deal, right?
I agree with you.
Yeah. So that was what kind of struck me, like the thing with your parents. I mean, I'm right there with you on that one. I mean, that's it. I really do look at it as, if I don't do something with my life important, significant, then I will have failed my parents and the work they put in to raise me. That's just me, but.
Yeah, I agree. And then you have your creator, our creator put us on earth for greatness.
Right. I'm with you. I won't go too, I don't do too much in terms of religion. You never know, but I do believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
Why are we here, right? To just exist? I don't think so.
No.
Let Juan jump in on that. What do you think, Juan? You down with that message?
Yeah, I'm done with that message.
Hey, you better be. You're the one that directed the message. So let me do this before we go too much. But so Juan, in addition to the message that you got out of David's story, speak a little to me on because you're not an old dog. What did you learn as a young dog doing this film and directing it and being in charge of the technical aspects of producing or putting out a short film? Make any mistakes? Did you learn something?
Yeah, so I made a couple of mistakes.
You gonna tell us all of them?
We had shot this before, and like when I went home, it wasn't good. So we had to reshoot it again. So another thing I learned from this, from working with George and David, I learned how to work with a team. Usually I've done some projects by myself, so it was great to work together and meet so much different people and just come together and produce some great stuff. So it was a really great learning experience.
Now here's the beauty. I don't know all the mistakes you made. You don't have to tell us, but it all works out in the end if you continue to improve, educate yourself, learn, grow, and you master your craft. The next thing you know, you don't make as many mistakes and it's easier to do more work, right?
Yes. One thing I want to say is, one thing that I really learned is that you're going to go shoot something, and I think this kind of works in every day. Before you have something big, you should always be prepared. Not the day before, but the day before that. Prepare for the day you have to be prepared. Just be ready. That's another thing I really learned.
Uh-oh, you're getting some time management skills?
Yes.
Hey, you know what? You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to have you come and hang around with KP because he loves learning like that. He loves doing stuff like something goes wrong, stuff comes to him last minute. He's really good at that. He likes doing that. You need to learn some stuff from KP about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm having my fun tonight. Everybody's going to Wang Chung tonight, baby. Real quick, so David, so you had, who were the others that kind of conned you into doing the role? And I know George, because George is involved with all this stuff, but give me some of the other particular people that you worked with and that you were involved with in putting together the project.
So like I was telling you, it started with George. We took a trip out to Yosemite out here in Fresno, and we took a hike. And in the hike, we started talking about this. So we talked about it, and we sat on it for a couple months. Then Carlos Anzuris, which is the other executive producer.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me stop you for a second. So he literally told you to go take a hike.
Pretty much. Yeah, so he took me for a hike.
He took you for a hike. Did you think he was going to bury you up in the mountains somewhere?
There was a group of us. He couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, trying to take me for a hike or what? Okay, go ahead. Give me Carlos.
So Carlos, Carlos is one of our business partners there at the firm where we work at. And we started kind of putting our heads together and talking about the financial literacy film festival and how we could kind of bring entertainment with financial literacy together, and just made a lot of sense. And I figured, I saw the scripts, and George said, hey, this is a pretty perfect spot for you to just do your documentary. Let's shoot for it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I'm one of the executive producers for my film, which is pretty cool.
I was like, I've been I'm still learning too. KP instructed me one time, if you want to be in a film, pay for it. And I'm like, I can't do that, man. I'm cheap. All I do is cheap date night. I can't afford all that other stuff.
But I was watching that too.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I watched a little bit through the end. I was getting set up, but I was watching it.
Okay, thank you very much. I was having fun with Terry, the young blood, from a little bit earlier. And he's actually watched my stuff going back a couple weeks, like, holy smokes, man, making me feel good. Yeah. But like I said, I'm a cheap date. I'm entirely free. Don't have to pay much. So, well, and George knows that because I'm cheap. I'm free cost. So give me to either one of you, both of you, give me anybody else you'd like to single out, for good work done on the project other than like the principal ones. Give me somebody like at the base that did some work that nobody saw or that nobody will see other than the finished product. Give me a couple guys or gals maybe that you guys know about that deserve some recognition on this project.
Well, I want to give a shout out to JC's dad. He came out and helped us out for one day, and I had Frank and Fernando there. JC?
Juan Sanchez. Yeah, Juan Sanchez.
Juan Sanchez.
But is he JC Sanchez? No? Does he got another cool name like Juan Miguel, Juan Loco, something like that? I got a true story for you, and I'll digress a second here. I got a true story for you guys. On my mom's side of the family, there are like 18 kids in one family. Now this is how bad it is in a family, in a Mexican family, Hispanic family. The oldest son, the oldest child was Juan. All right, stay with me. He became Juan Grande because the last son was Juan Chico.
No.
True story. I'm not joking. Wow. That's bad. Wow. That's bad news, man.
That's pretty cool.
That is bad news. That's a true story. Okay, so Juan Sanchez also. I'm writing these down because I want to get some. Who do you want to recognize, single out some of this stuff on notes for me? And then, so Juan Carlos. So this guy's over here plugging, and he's plugging and complimenting your pop. So what do you have? Who do you want to recognize, single out, that did a good job that was under the radar?
Yeah, I want to shout out D'Anthony Palmer. He helped me with some of the editing, helped me with the credits and creating the poster for the film.
Anthony?
He also, D'Anthony.
D'Anthony.
Yeah, so I want to shout him out.
Okay, and so he helped you with editing, you said?
Yeah, he helped me with she just helped me with the credits.
Okay. And so, I mean, in your role, I mean, you had other people that you had to work with.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I got it. So I think I saw, after I was done watching, the documentary, the film, I was looking through the credits and the name, and there's all the usual people that I've been seeing as I learn more about what you guys have done with the Financial, Literacy Film Festival. And I said to myself, I see all these names. There's one that I'm going to give a shout out to. The only person that I think I want to meet of all the people that worked on your project and all these other projects over 3 nights so far and 6 projects, I don't want to meet George. I already met George. I want to meet the craft director, Heidi Ohan. I got you guys. Her name's on all of those. I was noticing that. Yeah, so she's somebody and I've never met her. I don't know her. But she's been doing dirty work, and if she's George's wife, he gets her to do work. Right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody's laughing yes.
Sir.
So that's my shout out, and I wasn't even involved with the project. My shout out's going out to Heidi Ohan, the craft services director. How about that? There you go, George. That's for not paying me anything. I'm gonna shout out to your wife. All right. Okay. Any last thing you guys want to get in before we head out? We're good on time, but you guys got any last minute comments? We're wrapping up next week. We'll have the final, installment of the series of 4 on financial literacy film, and we'll wrap up next Friday. Anything you guys want to shout out before we head out here?
For me, I just want to say thank you to JC for actually doing all the work. I think I just sat there and he just asked me questions, and honestly, I've never been asked questions like that before. So it was pretty cool. It was I don't know how you say it, kind of surreal, because I'm getting these questions asked to me, and like I said, I've never been asked those types of questions. I know I talk about my story a lot at my office, but for it to be on a film, it's actually pretty cool. A little short, which is not bad.
Like you, clearly you're closer to my age than his. But you know what I've noticed over these last few weeks? we got some young people, you know, young being relative, right? But I mean, seriously,
Yes.
we got some young bucks and some young gals doing some damn good work. So I'm going to give a shout out to you, JC, because you can't be that old. But we had a gal on last week. She was like 18 years old. I'm like, hell yeah. You know, so I'll give my interspersed commentary right here. Watch this. I get tired of hearing older people, me and you, David, and older guys like us, older.
Yes.
I get tired of hearing people crying and complaining about millennials and this generation about how they're not motivated, they're not doing anything. You know what I say? Mahangu. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't. You are a good example of someone doing work right now that isn't making excuses and that is motivated to get something done. If anything, it's on guys like David and I and others to start doing our damn job so you guys can kick ass too. Don't you think, David?
That's right. I agree with that.
Excellent. Give me your last comment, JC.
Yeah, I want to give a big thanks to George and David for giving me this opportunity. I've always wanted to get into film, but I never knew how to start. But thanks to them, I kind of have an idea, and big thank you to both of you guys for thank you.
Perfect. And listen, there's nothing better to an older dog's ears than hearing a younger dog pay a little bit of respect and mean it. So I got nothing but love for that. And listen, by the way, I'm deadly serious, little JC. I'm deadly serious. I'm going to hook you up with KP, and he's going to educate you on how to be a director, film producer, actor, writer, wizard, and how to master the art of doing things at the last minute. I'm digressing. Hey, listen, if you're going to have a Friday night with me, you're going to have some damn fun while you're on, right?
Yeah, we need to. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Listen, by the way, it is a tough time. I don't make light and I don't insert levity unless there's a necessity and a need for it. And let's face it, right now, it is tough. There are things going on in this country. I think today was the largest single death total that we've seen so far. It's ugly. But we have to continue, we have to go on, and we have to motivate ourselves to continue to do good work. Because for those that have passed, it's important that those who have lived respect that passing by working hard. To your story, David, and to what you're doing right now, JC, that's imperative that we work our asses off right now to pay respect for the people that can no longer work at all. At all. So I want to thank both of you guys for being with me. As I've said with some of the other guests that I've met over the last few weeks, nothing but love for you and what you've done. And I look forward personally to getting to spend some opportunity time with you guys and maybe, just talking about other things and having a good conversation.
Likewise, I feel the same. And I just want to say thank you for all my family that are actually watching. I think some of my sisters were actually watching the movie tonight, which is pretty cool. They got a chance to come out of there. And like I said, my son, I love them all.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend. I look forward to seeing you sometime in the future.
Likewise. Same here.
As a youth, the boxing gym was always a place for me to go where I could be with my second family. The other boxers in the community, the other boxers in our city. And in my club, in the Clovis Pell Box Club with my coach, everybody was included. Everybody had an opportunity to get involved in this sport. Didn't matter how much money you had, didn't matter how much money you didn't have, how tall, how big, how small you were, it didn't matter. Everybody had an opportunity to be in. Everybody had an opportunity to work. That's what we try to do here at Big Brother Boxing, is that everybody gets an opportunity to work. And not just in our gym, we're trying to reach out into our community and give everybody an opportunity to participate in this sport. If you're old, if you're young, if you're brand new, if you got experience, it doesn't matter. You have a place here at Big Brother Boxing. And with our nonprofit, what we're going to really do is reach out to everybody in our community. Anybody who might need this sport, anybody who might need something new in their life to help push themselves forward. Well, that's what we're bringing to you with Big Brother Boxing. It's not just about boxing. It's about mentorship and leadership. Let's get it.
Hey y'all, welcome back. And a big thank you for another evening on a Friday night with the Financial Literacy Film Festival. And this again is the third installment of 4 successive evenings on a Friday going forward, and almost entirely within the month of April. And so we'll wrap up next week with the final installment of the Financial Literacy Film Festival. Same bat time, same bat channel, 7:30 p.m. And I'm looking forward to next week because we'll, same format in essence, but I think maybe I'll interject a few things just to, have a little fun with it before we're done, because why are you doing it if you're going to have a little bit of fun, right? Got to have a little bit. So we'll stick to, the things that we have planned. There'll be 2 more additional films, short films originally produced and directed by people from all over the place, mostly here, but from George and Carlos, the genesis of the project itself, bringing you the content and giving you the opportunity to watch some cool short films while also getting the underlying message of educating yourselves on financial literacy. And so again, all that is culminating next week, next Friday. And so I'll say this, maybe we put this out there, and I'm going to let all of you guys that are watching know, even if you're not normally my typical audience, but I'm also going to say that to my audience as well, that I normally have through my groups, my Facebook groups, my YouTube channel, all that. So all of my people, I'm going to expect to come here heavy next week, and I'm going to tell all of, you're all my people. How about that? You're all my people. But if you're newer my people, I'm asking you to go out and spread the message, and at the very least, you're going to want to share and get this last installment out next week to as many people as possible. And so the importance and the intent is that by doing that, we have a big number next week of a lot of people watching, a lot of people paying attention, and maybe, just maybe, and let's throw the maybe out, let's do it, let's make everybody that watches next week want to go back and watch any of the other 3 that came before, especially if they're first timers, right? If they're here next week for the first time, we're going to want them to go back and watch the first 3 nights over the 3 successive evenings on a Friday, so that they get the full content, the full message of what the Financial Literacy Film Festival was intended for. That's what I'd really, really like to see. So I'm telling you guys all right now, whether you're my people or you weren't my people, now you are. See how that works? I'm pulling you in, you try to get out, and I keep pulling you back in. You say, I'm going to get here, I'll pull you back in. Anyway, I'd like you all to go out and push this, plug it, make sure we get a big number for next week, make sure you share out as much as possible, make sure you notify people in advance, and get a big number here for the work that's been put in by a lot of people, not just Carlos and George that crafted and put it together, but all the other people that I've met over these number of weeks here that are doing good work, that are doing a lot of work at a critical time that we need to see. Directors, writers, editors, producers, you name it, they're doing it, right? Craft service people. Let's give them some respect by getting them a big number next week, okay? So I want to see that happen, and I'll put that again out as much as I can on my own end, so we get a lot of people to watch next week. And then we'll maybe do a few extra things, just bells and whistles, right, to have a little bit of fun before we're done with this month. So anyway, thank you for watching this evening. Thank you for watching over the last 3 weeks, if you have been so inclined to do so. And I will submit for your approval one more installment, the finale of the Financial Literacy Film Festival, next Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Okay? Nothing but love for all of you guys. I look forward to seeing you next week. Supermex is out.